Are we live? We're going? Okay. I got to log again.
Hey, what's going on? Congratulations. Hey, Danielle.
There we go. There we go. Share, boom, like, boom, turn down. All right, folks, it's that time again with me and the famous cowboy. So, hey, we really mix it up. So, you, this Rabbit, and Drew, and then I filled in, and they had so many people calling and texting and emailing, saying, man, we got to have the weatherman back, and hey, y'all got your wish. So, but then I brought in Cowboy, so ratings may go down, but it's okay. We got to get you up here.
We'll be all right.
So, Cowboy, we do what they call, what do they call it? Gratitude? Shout outs. Who we going to give a shout out to?
I think we give a shout out to, I'll be honest with you, I know it's you.
There we go.
For me.
I'll take it.
No, but here's the reason why you sit there. What we're talking about today is new agents, gratitude, appreciation. As we get older, I know we're in the office. We do have a lot of new younger agents,
yes.
our age and everything like that.
Our age.
Yeah.
2022.
But what's really cool about it is to appreciate I guess for you helping out me in particular. But then also everybody else. What's really cool for me also, not only I'm grateful for you, but also the younger guys, because it makes me have more energy.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's serious. It makes me have more energy.
Yeah, they're very, So I definitely give a shout out to all of our new agents, because there's something about that metabolism, that stamina.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they have that, it kind of makes you forget how dumb some of them are. But that's okay. But other than that, I'm just kidding. They're really sharp guys, all of them, and girls. We have a great group. We have found that our format fits the younger, newer licensed people, because it's this market is what we're talking about today. It's you have to adapt with different markets. So they're eager to learn. They want to learn. They're ready to get in this business. And Tommy, which is probably one of the better teachers out there, and got great content and studies a lot. So Tommy's probably one of the ones that does the most studying I've ever seen. So he's always on self-development. So and he feeds that into it. So anytime that you have a boss that every day trains multiple times a day, and on Saturday, I mean that's something. So and Sunday, that's right, and Sunday. So our topic today, and I'm going to ask Cowboy, how many houses are really for sale in Rutherford County?
We just sat there and looked at it.
No, you looked at it. Tell me, I just need a number.
212.
That is exactly wrong. So, but hey, it's a good guess. So why did you say 212, Cowboy?
Well, I'd sit there and take a look at it and see what's under contract.
Yeah.
Not showing right now.
There you go. So so this is a tip for new agents. So this is what everybody does, and everybody answers it the same way, so don't feel bad. So we're looking at what they call the OMLS. So right now, the way the market is, with prices going up and lumber going up, there are houses out there that are being built right now that aren't listed.
That's right.
So now, do you think that number is probably higher?
Yes, sir.
So now, how do we find out where some of these houses are? And how do we get this information?
You get out and drive. Get out and move around. Be active.
And what's an easy so we're gonna give some of our secrets away. We don't mind sharing secrets.
Don't do that.
And giving our secrets away. What's one of the number one easiest way, without wasting gas, without getting out and driving and just looking and say, well, where is it at? What's a way we could do that?
Google Map or make a phone call.
She calls. I bet. What do you think, Noah?
Best way to save gas.
Yeah, just how can you find out like what's being built?
You can go to the codes department.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Public record tells you who's pulling building permits, how many building permits have been pulled, who's pulled them. So you got to go up there. There's a couple ladies working there, so we talk them. Say, hey, how can I find out how many permits were pulled last month? So guess what? We just find out where they are, how many been pulled, and then we know exactly where to drive to. So now, as we do this, as we're thinking out, adapting is what we call it. We're calling adapting to the environment, adapting to the market. So I started in the recession, and I didn't know any better that the market was a buyer's market. So, which was miserable for most people because back then they always said before I started, it was like it was now. People just was falling in your lap. You didn't have to do anything. And so now what happened is it's reversed that way. Instead of a buyer's market, it's a seller's market, and people are falling in your lap. So now we have an over influx of buyers and an under influx of property. But guess what happens to the buyers that are kind of where we're noticing maybe local, that don't have a whole lot of cash? We're getting these folks from out of state, right? That are moving here because of our great schools, our state income tax, our international airport, just everything that they're moving here, and we're getting offers on these 40 offers on houses. But in that time, lumber in the past 8 months and price in the past 8 months have went up astronomically. I don't know the percentage. Tom, if you had a guess, with as amazing as you are, what percentage do you think it's went up in 8 months?
Lumber,
Just prices of houses in general because new construction.
probably 25%.
That is unheard of. 25%. That's almost like a 2-year time frame.
Maybe it was 13%.
13. That's still about a 2 year.
That's year to date, maybe,
Big one.
13%.
So that's usually about a 2-year
Lumber's
time
up
frame.
300%.
Lumber's up 300%. 300%. So as we got new agents, and new agents are out here, they get a lead. So let's just say we get a lead, and guess what? These leads. How many agents you think has the same lead?
A bunch.
Oh man, a bunch. Yeah, they're a bunch. And so as a new tip, what we have to do is we have to educate yourself. You have to, first of all, you have to have energy. If you don't have energy, you're not going to win anybody over. You also have to be sharp. You have to know your skill, and you have to have knowledge. You have to be the expert. You have a license, you pass that test, you do the things you're doing, you are an expert, so we have to show we're an expert. So if I'm a doctor, and I walk in and I ask you, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want me to operate on that, or you just want to leave it like it is?
You tell me.
Exactly right. So that isn't how it goes. So what happens is the doctor always tells you what's going on. The problem is a lot of times new agents don't know what's going on in the market. Like if I ask our group right now, and I don't even know this answer, how many new neighborhoods do we have in Rutherford County that they're building in right now? See, a great agent, which is something I got to work on, will know a number pretty close. An expert will know a number pretty close. If I'm a gardener and I let's just say I grow the world's largest pumpkins, I'm gonna know what the best soil is, right? I need to know how many neighborhoods are going on in Rutherford County. I need to know what my market is doing where I'm working. I need to know what condos are doing what I'm working. I need to know where the price points are from what I'm doing. It's no longer about school districts anymore like it used to be in the past. It's really about now. It's about getting it home. So now let's go back to say, so when an agent gets a lead, what is one of the biggest downfalls an agent, in your opinion, does when they get a lead?
They don't work enough. Stay in contact.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anybody got an answer?
Don't get them excited.
There you go. Don't get them excited. Yeah. Oh, chum chum. They want to kind of tell them what they want to hear instead of kind of tell them, hey, let me tell you where we are. But let me tell you some good news. There is only 230-something houses or 212 houses active in MLS. But what we do over here is we got about 25, 28 neighborhoods that are being built right now. I can possibly get us on a list that we don't know the price yet, but we will once they find out when it gets framed, we'll know the price. Is that something that excites you? Would you like to be a part of that? And then next thing you know, you're working with them and you're constantly showing them things and doing things. So as new agents, we're wanting to keep them so bad that we're almost like we're going to be able to do what they want us to do. So let me give you an example. Noah's got a buyer, first time home buyer. Mom and daddy's with him, $250,000. Daddy comes up with him. Noah says, "Hey, I want him to pay all the closing costs. $250,000. We want to pay the closing costs."
Sellers.
Yeah, that's what we want. So my son's not paying closing costs. I mean, he shouldn't have to, you know. So how do we handle that situation as an agent? Most new agents kind of back up. This is, you have to adapt to the market. This is not the market to back up. This is the market to say, Mr. Cowboy, just for example. Unfortunately, I understand why you feel that way, but if it's okay, this is what I do for a living. Let me explain to you why that won't work. And let me explain to you what the statistics are showing. And I can back it up with stats. So what will an expert have?
Statistics.
There you go.
Information
So
right
yeah.
there.
So when you coach football, and you what'd you coach? What'd you coach? You coach kickers, punters.
No.
You
tight
coach
ends,
managers. What'd you
tight
coach?
ends.
Tight
No,
ends. There we go.
tight ends.
So you knew what the stats were for your tight ends, right?
Right.
So that made you a great coach. So if we don't know the stats to show that, then it's kind of hard for us to explain that. So as new agents, we got to know those stats. So when a dad comes in or first time home, how many of us have had a $250,000 buyer that wants to offer $10,000 less here lately? I mean, they want to do that. You have to have a stat to back it up. And so new agents a lot of time will be like, well, we'll make an offer. Well, you just wasting your pay because it's not going to work.
Right.
So now what we have to do is show them why. So now what is one of the second thing as a new agent and new buyers that feel like they don't have in order to be able to be aggressive?
The experience.
Money.
Money. So let's just say we got $250. We want to offer $275, but we got to offer $15,000 over appraisal. But they say I don't have that. I only have like $6,000 in the bank. What can we do to overcome that objection in this market? Well, you're all words today, Cowboys, all over it. Woo-wee. Hey, he's here, boys,
Hey,
all
I'm
over.
here.
All right,
Hello.
so let's think about it. So how can we get money for a first-time home buyer? Lender can do some closing costs.
Gift from a
There you go.
family member.
Gift from a family member. Anybody else got any idea?
I was gonna say family friends.
Family, friends. They got the old 401k. You know what I mean? Old 401k. Don't go out and pawn your truck. I mean, that kind of may hurt you a little bit, but so there's other ways to find money. So now what we look at is looking at different opportunities to find money, and then when we find that money, then we can end up doing it. Because what happens if we don't find the money and we have to go out and rent something? Does anybody know what the rental prices are now for houses and apartments in Rutherford County?
Ridiculously high and lacking. Their low inventory just.
Hey, yeah, that's right. You think finding a house is hard, try to find a cheap apartment.
I mean, a lot of apartments are now going to $2,000 a month.
There you go. Plus,
For like a 2-bedroom.
first, last month, if you got a dog, security deposit, 12-month lease. So think of the money you're going to spend out for that to where you can actually probably get some advancement from somebody, a family member, to get you in a house at a lower payment. So let's just say this. Let's say it's you pay $2,000 a month for an apartment, or you have to borrow $15,000 from old mama to make sure they pay over appraisal, but your house payment's only $1,300 a month instead of $2,000. How quick could you pay that $15,000 off from the difference of the rental payment and the house payment?
A lot faster.
So being an expert is knowing those things and knowing them quick, being sharp about it. But do we ever think about that? Well, you can pay $2,000 a month, or you can get in this house and pay your mama back $800 a month for the next 18 months, and then you got your own house and you're building equity, and you're not throwing it away. So we have to adapt and be ready to do different things. Now, we can't give them money, we can't cut commissions, but the bigger thing is, and this is the biggest secret, and I hate to give it away, but here at GTT, we're friendly. We give it away. They have what they call model homes and all these things. So can anybody tell me what a national builder is? Well, we call a national builder here.
Theo Horton.
Oh, hey, this smartest guy I know right here. Hey, go ahead.
They build in nationwide communities.
Everywhere. And why do they come to spots like this and build?
Because they know this is where people are moving.
It's a hot spot. They ain't dumb. They know what's going on. So now that we got national builders, they got what they call model homes. So what would be a thing that we ought to do?
Look into the model home.
We ought to meet them. We ought to know what's going on. We ought to know them on a first name basis. There's how many model homes you think we have in Rutherford County?
A bunch.
How many? I don't need a bunch. That ain't an answer.
15.
That's wrong. He's guessing. That's an expert answer. We have 1,200 model homes across Rutherford County. Now, I'm just throwing a number out there. But once we know that, then we know that we can talk to these guys. And as we build this relationship, the next thing you know, they're telling us, hey, we've got this next section coming out. We feel like it's going to be this price. We're not pricing it out until it gets to the sheetrock stage, which this is what a lot of folks are doing. But after we get there, then say, well, I tell you what, can we be on your list? Because a lot of national builders do waiting lists or lot holes. So now you get on that list. So now what happens when you get a client on a waiting list for a neighborhood that may be 4 or 5 months out?
You can prep them, get them ready.
And then you can start showing them other properties. And then eventually find something before that gets ready, you sell on that. So, but because you know where the model homes are, you have a relationship with them, you know the prices, you know the areas, now you have that knowledge and experience that makes you an expert. So now what happens whenever you hear this phone call, hey, I don't even know if I want to buy a house right now. The market's just so bad. It's so hard. There's 40 offers on every house. I probably can't win. What is the answer that most agents say?
All right.
They agree.
Yep.
Instead of saying, oh, no. No, we don't lose over here.
Nope.
We win. And let me show you how we win. That's been an expert. That's been enthusiastic. And it's in your voice. Have you ever called an agent and they looked at a house or heard an agent and it was under contract and it was like, dang, it's already under contract. Instead of automatically saying, hey, don't worry about that one, that one's sold, but hey, I'm going to get you a better one. Let me take you here, and here. And matter of fact, after we eat ice cream, we're going to go here, and here. And let me show you what's coming up in the future. So as new agents can walk in that, you would be surprised on how many more opportunities they have. Now, guess what happens whenever you sell that agent something and you do that? How many of their friends and family are they going to brag about you to? Everybody. How we say it, Lorena? Everybody. So what we're going to do, they're going to tell them all. So if we don't know these things, if we don't know statistics, if we don't know what's going on, if we don't know any of that stuff, then we're behind the 8 ball. If we sit behind our computer, if we get a lead and we look at the MLS, we're in trouble. We're probably in 3rd place, 4th place, even on a good team. Because the ones that are in 1st and 2nd place, they already know about these things we're talking about today. You know, how many national builders are there in Murfreesboro? Can y'all name 5? Can you name 3? Name 3. Somebody name 3.
Deer Warden, LGI, you've got Beezer,
Lennar.
the with Davidson Homes, you've got
The regional.
Original.
other regional, not national.
So,
Ryan Homes.
hey, so see, as you start to see that, we're doing that. So now what happens is we have local guys that are here. So we have a builder locally here that we represent, which is fantastic, that we have a relationship with. But he's actually almost as big as some national builders, but it's Old South. But most local builders, we probably don't have really an opportunity to sell to. That's why it's very important now for us to have relationships with national builders. You know, everybody wasn't really crazy about all those small town having national builders, but you better get to know them. And you better get to know the product because they're the ones that are building the houses and building a lot of them. You know, and then the more you know about that, the more you're going to help your client. So as you start getting new clients on the phone, and then, so what happens if you get a $250,000 buyer? What do you do? How many houses right now for sale for $250,000? I don't have to have them MLS for that.
Not many.
They don't make
Not
no.
many. Not many, if any. Maybe 5. Maybe
All right.
if that many.
So then what's the next step?
You look above that. Show them.
Find out if they got a co-signer. That's one way. Or find out if they can step to the next county. And then, but now you got to find out which county is a little bit cheaper. Calfa County used to be cheaper, but guess what? It's done moved up.
They all have.
Yeah.
Even Bedford. moved
Like
up.
Wilson County, we can't that. So Bedford County is the next hot spot. So now we got to start looking at different other areas. Murray County, but you got to be a little bit farther out. So the one thing we got to do is we got to know different areas. We got to know different builders, but we also have to make sure we're upbeat, we're positive, and we know these things. So around here at GTT Homes, we have a thing that now within the next 30 days, we have to have every new neighborhood listed in our office. What the product is, what the product may go for, who the builder is, and when is expected to be stuff for sale. So now if we have that arsenal in our hands, how powerful, will we ever sell another house this year?
Oh, yes.
Hell yes. We're going to sell them regardless. So that is what you have to know. So tips for new agents, definitely you have to get out. You don't have to drive yourself to the bone wondering where stuff is, because we do have a codes department, a public records department that you can go sit down and talk to them. Now, take those ladies some coffee, be sweet to them because they're covered up right now. But I would be interested in finding out how many building permits were pulled in May. We don't know, do we? Can you see how this is a problem as we're the experts and stuff? If there's a new if there's a new implant you could do for knees
So
to make.
6 pages that I got for it when I pulled it.
There you go. So if there was a new thing you could do for hip surgery that made it easy, don't you think the best hip surgeon in the world would know what it is before it come out?
12 per page.
Same way with us. We have to know before it comes out. So now that's a call that we can make every month. At the end of the month, at the first of every month, how many permits were pulled in this month? How many permits were pulled in this month? Because guess what? The pre-sale game is probably over for right now. You know, it's probably slowed way down.
Very much.
And then now the only other thing that I know, and I'll end on this, is the tip for the new agent is being honest with the agents and finding out what they want. And then a couple things that you can definitely start looking for or that have opportunities if you're a lower buyer is Cowboy has one coming up. I'm not going to say where it is, but Cowboy has something on 5 acres. They got a nice double wide on permanent foundation, flipped. It's going to be in that $300,000 range. This is the guy right here you call. So people aren't even thinking that. Back in the past, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. But now that is where that market is. So our 250 market now is up to about 400 almost, 350, you know. So the next thing is, and the last thing I'll end with is how do we talk to our buyers about appraisals?
That's a tough one.
We just telling the dang truth.
It's, you know,
We don't know. I mean, if somebody asks you what's my house worth, what's the answer right now?
What a buyer's willing to pay for it.
Yeah, we don't know because there is no rhyme or reason to a comp now because things are selling now at a different level. Now remember, things are selling in Tennessee at a high rate, but it's still cheap for where people are coming from. But what that means is that it jumped. We skipped a comp number. So usually we skipped the whole number. So we went from this comp and skipped the comp. So what that means is we're having some trouble right now. So now what that means is we got to get on our toes whenever we sell a house. We got to already be finding stuff that's comparable to be ready. How many times do we do that before, or do we wait until we get a phone and says, hey, that didn't appraise? I mean, I do. Hell, I mean, all agents. We just wait, just keep our fingers crossed instead of thinking outside the box and thinking early.
Buyer fingernails.
So, Cowboy, what are the tips? Real quick, let's briefly, what do you think? Give me some tips we went over today for new agents.
I mean, first and foremost, doesn't matter. Would be have energy.
There you go.
All right, your energy. Use your
Be good
tools.
looking. I got that. We
Well,
got I'm two
I
out
think we're pretty
two.
good with
Two
that.
out two.
I mean, you know, use your technology. A willingness
Yep.
to pick up not only the technology with the computer,
Yep.
but also your phone.
Yep.
You know, with people within the office, network.
Yep.
Get out and talk.
Yep.
A willingness to get out and drive around is one of them. I know that was one of them.
Yeah. Be an expert in your field.
I mean, research. Do your research.
There you go. Research. You got to know. Always be optimistic. Always know that even though the MLS may not say this out there, know there is something out there that could be found. So, hey, if it ain't out there now, guess what you can do if it ain't out there? Create it. Find exactly right.
You know, and I think to piggyback off that was something you didn't think about or didn't bring up would be
No, I think about everything.
is think outside the box.
There you
I
go.
think, I think sometimes we get so cookie cuttered in everything that we do and everything. You kind of think
Yeah.
outside the box into something different.
Yep.
I mean,
So if we got a $700,000 buyer that wants to be on the west side of town, but no builder wants to do pre-sales, what can we start doing? Going to houses that are worth $700,000 and making them offers, and saying, "Hey, if I could bring you this, if I got somebody that's willing to pay this right here, would you sell your house?" Hey, do we give them a low offer, no, or a high offer?
Give them a high
And what does that create?
opportunity.
Opportunity is what I'm talking about. All we want is opportunity. And once you get opportunity, then you got a chance. So guys, new agents, if you're out there, find somebody that's an expert. If you're not real for sure, Shadow, hey, give us a call over here at GTT Homes. We like to give all our secrets away and tell everybody what's going on. But most of all, in this market, it's no different than the market from the crash. It's no different than a market that has been just crazy busy. All you have to do is adapt. The great agents adapt, prevail, and it won't stop you. Is it going to stop you?
yes, sir.
Absolutely not. It's not going to stop GTD Home. Our goal is to be what in Rutherford County? Number one. And then number one in the what?
World.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Number one in the world. Exactly right. So, guys, hey, I hope this helped a little bit. Be creative. Think differently. Don't always look at the MLS for what's out there, because we do have things out there that's more important. Meet your on-site agents. But most of all, never fear to ask somebody for advice or help, even as a new agent or a senior agent. I constantly ask Tommy, because man, he's just sharp. I mean, he's my go-to. I mean, he's what made me so smart. You know, so it's what you got to do. You have to ask somebody if you don't know.
Look, you can create a bunch of knowledge, you put a bunch of heads together.
That's exactly right. So, guys, have a great Wednesday, Cowboy. I appreciate you filling in. I don't know what you did, but I really appreciate you being here.
brought the- just brought the looks.
I'm just kidding.
Brought the looks, baby.
But, guys, we do appreciate you. We appreciate our team. Most of all, we appreciate everybody that we're working with. And, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday. And I guess the Rabbit and Drew will be back next week, and we will see you then. I'm going to tell them bye.
See you.